Hello, hello, and welcome. You are live with Sandra with It's All About Choices, and I am Sandra, your RDN, where every week I have the pleasure of dishing out your weekly dose of nutrition and wellness news for your mind and your body and your soul. I hope that everybody is having a wonderful day. I hope your week is going well so far. And for those who are tuning in live, I thank you every week for tuning in live with me. And for those who are listening to the replay, I also thank you for listening to the replay and just taking time out of your schedule, hopefully to kind of take a little self-care, get a little nutrition and wellness information that will help you as well as your family. All right. And so we are continuing on our series of mindful eating and weight loss. And how do we develop a mindset to lose weight? Okay. Because a lot of times I tell people weight loss is not really about weight loss and what we eat. It really has a lot to do with our mind. And so this is a special mini series where you will learn some mindful eating and some specific strategies that will help you to avoid overeating out of stress, out of anxiety, out of boredom, and of course that results into that unwanted weight gain. So today we are talking about what is normal eating. Like, what is normal eating? And so I'm going to discuss 3 myth busters that make normal eating very simple and achievable for anybody. And so these days, it does seem like everybody wants to put a label on how they eat, whether it's vegan, whether it's paleo, gluten-free, clean. And the funny thing is that when people find out that I am a dietitian, I often get a lot of speculation about what kind of eater am I. And so I'll hear comments like, well, you must be a healthy eater, or I bet your diet is perfect, or are you doing, XYZ diet? I never really quite know how to answer those type of questions because I get grilled on my eating habits. It's kind of uncomfortable. People watch my plate, see what I choose and things like that. And so if I had to have a label for how I eat, I would just say that I am a normal eater. And so this is a very informative segment because we're going to really talk about what normal eating is. And these 3 simple tips will break down exactly what normal eating is and it's not what you think it is. Okay. So a lot of times people have a lot of myths about what healthy eating really is. And so for those who do not know who I am Sandra Goldtree, and I am a woman of faith who is blessed and serve as a registered dietitian and nutritionist, as well as a certified personal trainer and your accountability partner. And my mission is to simply show people how to get food to work for them instead of thinking food is the enemy. Okay, I take joy in adding a variety of foods back on that client avoidance list so they can lose weight, keep it off, have the energy levels that they so desire, and just to not feel like they're on a diet and not feeling like they have to feel deprived. And the goal is building lifestyle habits that last the long haul and will weather the storm of any situation that life brings, right? So it's all about creating a lifestyle of self-care as well as breaking food strongholds, okay? And so as you are tuning in live, please say who you are, give me a shout out, say hello, any questions, any ahas, any relatable, anything that I say to you that's relatable, just feel free to chime in. I like for this to serve as a 2-way communication so that it's not just me talking at you, but I also can hear from you directly. All right, so for those of you who are just tuning in, we are talking about normal eating, and we're going to talk about 3 myth busters that make normal eating simple and achievable for anyone. All right. And so stay with me to the end because I am going to share more about my summer challenge, which begins next week. And this will give you a 3-day experience about what normal eating is and what normal eating really is not. And so if you're curious, you can check it out by going to actionchoices.com/summer shape up. Okay. And I am going to check to see if I am able to open up my window so that you all can see some of my posts. So let me see if I can do that. Give me 1 second here. Yes, I am able to. So let me put this in the chat so that you all can see the URL. Let's see. So this is awesome. I'm able to do that still. Facebook has made a lot of changes. And so things are not quite as easy as it used to set up. But we work around it. So if you're curious, you can go to actionchoices.com/summer shape up. Okay. Now I'm going to give more details about this a little bit later. And so, unfortunately, the world has this weight stigma of thin ideal and this diet culture. And normal eating has become really abnormal, believe it or not. And so, it's hard to know what's normal for anyone because most people do engage of some form of disordered eating patterns or eating behaviors as well, such as emotional eating and stress eating in some form. Okay. And so I always have my poll question. So let me ask. So think about 5 people you know. How many of them are trying to manage their weight at some level? They're either trying to lose weight, or they're saying they're watching carbs, or they're following some type of a diet. And so think about 5 people that you know. So are all of them trying to do something in regards to managing their weight, or one or two? I have a feeling most of you will probably say all, probably more than 5, right? Because that's the big thing, trying to get healthy. But knowing how to do that is what's the challenge. And that's what talking about normal eating is about, to kind of steer you in a different direction. Okay. We always talk about what not to do. I like to talk about what we should do and what we are able to do and what is good to do. All right. So let's jump right in, grab some paper, grab a pen, and we're going to have some good content for you today. And I mentioned earlier that these days it seems like everybody wants to put a label on their eating. And so it's hard to know what normal eating is because most people unknowingly do engage in a disordered eating pattern. It's not the same as having an eating disorder, but disordered eating pattern, okay, in some form. All righty. So let's talk about the first normal eating myth buster. Okay. So going to the table hungry. Okay. So dieting and disordered eating have become normal. Okay. It's become normal eating, unfortunately. Both are so prevalent, and we often label concerning eating patterns or behaviors as normal. And so, for example, of some concerning eating behaviors that have shifted to normal eating is skipping a meal to save up for dinner. Okay. Like especially breakfast, skipping breakfast, because we know we want to have this big meal at dinner. That has become normal, but it is actually a form of disordered eating pattern. Avoiding food groups altogether. Okay, that is something that has become normal. Okay, but it has as a disordered eating pattern. Skipping breakfast, which I mentioned earlier, skipping breakfast just in general. I talk to a lot of people that say, "Oh, I'm just not hungry," or they're fasting till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so again, that is a form of dieting, disordered eating. That has become normalized. And so these modern typical behaviors are not examples of normal eating behaviors at all. It's not what our body needs. And so normal eating is going to the table slightly hungry and eating until you are satisfied. And so listen to my live from last week where I talked about the ranges and levels of hunger and fullness based on a hunger scale, and allowing your body to even have those signals activated again. So a lot of times, because our eating is so disordered, those mechanisms are just shut down, and your body doesn't even tell you. And so therefore your body, you don't know when you need to feed your body. So therefore there are side effects of that as well. So eating normal is being able to give some thought to your food selection. So you get nutritious foods, but not being so wary and restrictive that you miss out on enjoyable food. So a lot of times people will cut out foods that they really, really love, and you don't need to. Okay. In many cases, they do have nutritional value. Some, of course, the fun foods don't always, but again, that does not mean we exclude them. And so normal eating means eating out of hunger most of the time, but not always. So leaving some wiggle room there for being human, okay, and having some level of cravings occasionally, which is perfectly normal. The reality is normal eating occasionally drown your sorrows, or in a pint of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, or to mindlessly eat cookies or donuts that a coworker brought into work. You may feel a hint of guilt, but rather than saying, oh gosh, the heck with it, you're able to look at the situation objectively. You're able to brainstorm a better way of dealing with the trigger in the future. And so we're always going to have stressful situations. I always tell people, you're always going to have the unexpected. You're always going to have to figure out how you're going to juggle health, wellness, and life, because stuff is always going to happen. Nothing is ever going to line up. And so we want to set ourselves up to where we're not coping with food so much, because at the end of the day, when we're in our right mind, we know it's not going to solve anything. It's just an impulse reaction that we all typically do. And so let's go to my next question. Let's see here. So post it does. So if it does this sound, hopefully we're getting to the point where we're taking some pressure off of what clean eating really is, because a lot of times people equate clean eating to just eating things that they really don't like. It doesn't have taste, it doesn't have flavor, and things like that. And hopefully that is putting your mind. So if it does, then just post it does, as far as if it's taking a little bit of pressure off of what exactly clean eating is. And so let's talk about number 2, and that's this banner right here. So just kind of post it does. So the second normal eating myth buster: give yourself permission to eat. I think this is probably the most challenging myth that most of my clients have, is they are afraid to eat certain foods, or they have banned certain foods just because of what they've read, or maybe what a past diet has told them to do. And so they're fearful when I say, you really should eat that. It's good for you. Because it's not always junk food per se that they have taken off their list. They've taken off foods that are considered whole and clean. And so normal eating is nourishing yourself regularly throughout the day. So perhaps it's with 3 meals and at least 1 snack, or maybe it's 5 smaller meals. It just kind of depends on the person and your preference. There may be busy days where you find yourself that you've gone too long without eating and you feel ravenous. You're hungry. I call it hangry. There are many days where you just don't feel like you have an appetite and you miss meals and snacks. Okay. That may happen occasionally, but it should not happen every single day, because then that just shuts down your metabolism. I call it a metabolism buster. And there are days when you're going to feel very, very hungry. You're going to eat more than you normally. You may feel like you just don't get full. And again, that is normal. Maybe your metabolism is revved up for some particular reason. Maybe you're stressed. Maybe your body has more stress on it. But again, that should not happen every single day. And so some days you miss the mark altogether, okay? And I hope that this is not every day. But unfortunately for most people, this roller coaster ride happens more than it doesn't, where you just have those days and you just eat anything under the sun and you just completely overdo it. And the key is you're giving your body what it needs when it needs it. But we got to learn how to shut it off, okay? And so normal eating means adapting to what food is available in the situation that you're in. So maybe that means you're at a restaurant. At a restaurant that you don't even like because maybe that's where your friends wanted to go, or that's where the group is going. Or maybe that means you are ordering takeout because you didn't have time to cook, or you didn't have anything prepared at the house. Maybe that may mean that you're throwing in a ton of random snacks throughout the day to try to create a meal, even though it's not super satisfying, but you have plenty opportunity for a meal later or in the future. So you just have to kind of work with the situation. Of course, you want to set you up for success as much as possible, so you're always ready for those unexpected situations, but every now and then they happen. Normal eating means that food is a part of life, but it is not all of life, okay? So let me say that again. Normal eating is that food is a part of life, but it is not all of life. So normal eating also leaves room for other interests as well. So you shouldn't be stressing about what to eat and all that. So once you know the tools and know how to determine what that meal is, then it's really becomes easy at that point. All right, so let's talk about this. So post or reply, I struggle. So when you don't have time to plan, do you struggle with what to eat based on what is available in the moment? Okay, so if you do, this is very common, and know that you're not alone. So we're going to talk about this a bit more in our final segment, because it is very common for people to wonder, I don't know what to eat. I don't know what to eat, because they're just not used to giving thought to how their meals should look. And once you learn the steps and the secret sauce, it's very easy. It really is very easy. And so for those who are tuning in, we are talking about what is normal eating, and we're talking about 3 myth busters that make normal eating very easy and very achievable for anybody. All right. And so before we jump into our last topic here, or our last myth buster, I want to remind you of the summer challenge that I mentioned earlier. And this summer season is quickly approaching. I mean, if you live in Orlando, it's already warm/hot. And if you are ready, are you ready? Are you ready to break out your shorts, your tank tops, your swimsuits? Are you just ready to break out your summer clothes? Okay. If the answer is no, like many of us, then this is really what I'm hearing from a lot of my clients. They are not comfortable in the clothes that they're wearing. They're not happy with how they look. they are not comfortable with even putting on a bathing suit. Okay. So this is what this challenge is about, is to help you to have a springboard and to help you to get on track to understand, well, what is normal eating and how do I get on that path to where I feel comfortable in my own skin? And so get ready to become the best version of yourself. So mark your calendars for May 7th. That's when I'm kicking off the annual Summer Shape Up Challenge for 2024. And it's called Summer Shape Up. It's a 3-day clean eating challenge with powerhouse breakfast smoothies. So those of you who follow me know that I'm all about having smoothies with a purpose, more than just vegetables and more than just protein powder. I like smoothies that can serve as a meal. Okay. And so that's what this is really about. And so let me give you this. So here's the URL. I've already posted it in the chat as well. And so May 7th is when we're going to kick off my updated 2024 challenge. And again, it's called Summer Shape Up, a 3-day clean eating challenge. So you can do anything for 3 days, right? And so during this challenge, you're going to have 3 days of satisfying, easy to prepare meals and snacks. Everything is laid out for you. And then you'll have 3 days of filling powerhouse breakfast smoothies that you will have to start your day off strong. They should last you 3.5 to 4 hours, depending on the person. Yes, they will definitely do that. And then 3 days of live training from me, where I'm going to have a different topic each day, as well as coaching from me. So if you have any questions, anything, that's what I'm there for. So this is a real opportunity. So you're not just getting this meal plan or this challenge and you just go off on your own and do it. Nope, we're going to have a group support system where you're able to do this together. And I encourage you to invite friends and families to make it more fun. And it's 3 days of accountability, support, and hand-holding. And so you come out of this challenge more energized. It's amazing how your body responds in just 3 short days. So more energy, less sugar cravings, you're feeling better, you're beginning that process of revving up your metabolism, and you're going to jumpstart some weight loss. You will lose. You will definitely lose. Come out of this challenge on the right path to becoming that best version of yourself. And like I say, it's amazing what can happen in 3 days. Okay, so the registration is now open. You are getting this hot off the press. Grab your spot at actionchoices.com/summer shape up. And again, invite your friends, invite family. It's always good to have some friendly and healthy competition. Right? So, and don't hesitate to post any questions if you need to post any questions. Alrighty, so I will leave that here and let's talk about number 3. Okay, so let's take this thing home. So trusting your body to make up for the mistakes in eating. Okay, trusting your body to make up the mistakes in eating. So what does that mean? So normal eating means making a decision based on what you want and need in that moment and what's available to you. So normal may value nutrition or it may not. Value nutrition. It depends. And so there is no rule that you must eat healthy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So healthy eating knows that nutrition is one form of self-care. So if you zoom out on normal eating, you'll see lots of nutritious foods plus plenty of fun foods that I like to call it. On some days, you maybe have a higher ratio of nutritious foods. On other days, you might just eat cheese sticks, French fries, and a fried chicken sandwich. I mean, it happens sometimes, okay? As long as you're not doing that every single day. And then neither is good nor bad. It's just what you felt in that moment and it felt right at that time, okay? Normal eating balances out the mistakes in eating over time. So there aren't really any mistakes, okay? And so what we need to do is give ourselves some grace when our pattern is off. We tend to beat ourselves up. Oh my God, I ate this, I blew it, I this, I that. And then you kind of spiral. But this is a good first step to begin working on, is you must give yourself some grace. And so that's what one of the things that this challenge will help to point out is to help you to hit the ground running. So during the challenge, you will begin to experience normal eating with your meals and your snacks, and it's all laid out for you. You even have a prep guide. And this prep guide, because this is another common area that people tend to struggle with because, again, just not sure of that formula and that secret sauce of how to plan and prepare your meals and to prep your meals. So you will have a prep guide that will tell you what to do and what to lay out so you're not having to do everything on Sunday night for the whole 3 days, all 3 days. So it's a very good way to set you up for grab and go. And you can really see the benefits of when you're tired or you don't feel like cooking or you don't have anything prepared, the beauty of, or things just get hectic. And it's the beauty of just being able to grab things and go. Okay. And so Reply yes or no. Do you feel overindulging at one meal sets you back for your weight loss efforts or even your health goal efforts? Because sometimes it's weight as well as maybe you're trying to improve your labs, or there's some pains and joint pains and ailments that you're trying to combat as well. So do you feel overindulging at one meal sets you back for your weight loss efforts? Okay. And so for those who say yes, the good news is one meal does not set you back, okay, for your weight loss efforts. Okay. Now, what sets us back is when we continue to indulge for days and weeks, because sometimes one indulgence turns into a spiral for most of us. It's not just that one and done. And so we want to get you to that point where the one and done is occasionally and it's okay. Okay. And it doesn't break the bank. So that's some good news, I hope, for many of you. So it's just a matter of knowing that. And those are the tools that you need in your toolbox. And so that's what we focus on. And that's what I mean by weight loss. It's not always about food. It's that mindset and just having some nuggets that help you to push through those unexpected moments. And so the takeaway message, the big takeaway message is, in a nutshell, normal eating is very flexible. So the main point of normal eating is to get to know that food is not your enemy. So normal eaters know that food is there to nourish your body and your soul. Normal eating means that food is your friend, an ally. Is there to support you in your longer living, feeling better. I believe, and you want to focus on quality of life as well as quantity of life, okay? And enabling you to do the things that you enjoy doing, and you're not coming home exhausted, spending your weekend sleeping because you're exhausted, okay? That's what this is all about. So, in the first step in really seeing how to put all this to practice, join my challenge. Have fun. We're going to start again on May 7th, which is next Tuesday. And we're going to kick things off 3 days of 3-day live clean eating challenge with powerhouse breakfast smoothies. And you'll have a whole bunch of recipes that you can add to your toolbox also. Remember, 3 days of satisfying meals and snacks that are easy to prepare, 3 days of power-filling breakfast smoothies to start your morning off, 3 days of live training on a different topic each day, and again, 3 days of accountability, group support, and hand-holding, okay? I'm here for you. And so we're almost midway, right, through 2024, almost, and so this is a great way to hit the reset button. So whatever goals you set for yourself in January, you can still achieve those, okay? It's not too late to achieve your goals before the summer ends, okay? And so thank you for tuning in. This concludes what I have for today's edition of Nutrition News for Your Mind, Your Body, and Your Soul. And I am Sandra, your RDN. Next week, I will go live 3 days in a row for all challengers. So I'm in a different platform, in a different Facebook group. So for that reason, I will resume our normal Facebook Live on the following week. Okay. So I believe that is May 16th. So I invite you, though, to join the challenge so that you are able to tune in with me live for 3 days in a row. And so it starts on May 7th. And then actually it's May 14th that I'm back live. So May 14th, I'm back live. And I encourage you and advise you to join the challenge. The doors are still open and we're going to have lots of fun. Okay. And day one, just to give you a sneak peek, day one topic for the challenge is your morning energy blaster. So the one thing that you can do to boost your metabolism and to jumpstart your weight loss. Okay. So that's topic number one, to kind of give you a sneak peek. So we're going to talk about your morning energy blaster. What is it that you can do? That one thing you can do to boost your metabolism so you're not waking up sluggish and tired, okay? And again, there's still time to join. Invite a buddy. And thank you for tuning in and have a blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye.